Okay, so I was going along and I came across a video. It's actually been on the internet for quite some time, but it made me think about something. It's the young Caucasian woman who is talking about her experience with internal racism and how she felt when the black woman was excelling past her or whatever, and how she was feeling uncomfortable and whatever she was going through. And then they had some reaction videos and everything like that. But the one that stuck out to me the most is when the black woman was talking about her experiences, not just with, other races, but, our own people. And every time that type of topic comes up, people are quick to say, oh, they're trying to push a different narrative. It's almost like people are in denial that these things are actually happening. They'll call you anti-black and all types of things. But I thought about my own experiences. Now, growing up in the Pacific Northwest, you know, people might call this an accent or whatever, but depending on where you grow up, which I've said this before, you're going to have an accent specific to that region. So this is specific to my region. But apparently I have encountered individuals of my own race, mind you now, who have said that I sound white. Now, I don't know what sounding white is. We looked at books, we read books, we had to learn how to spell, we had to learn how to enunciate, we had to speak proper grammar. That was what we were taught in school. Okay, and then over time, I learned how to effectively communicate because I dealt with people. I was in the service industry, meaning I needed to be able to communicate information clearly and concisely. So I was talking all day from 8 hours, from the time I started my shift to the time I ended my shift, whether it was in person or over the phone. So with that being said, it's going to affect the way that I communicate each day. However, the way that I sound is specific to my region. Now, when I get upset, there might be a little bit of my Texas roots that may pop out from time to time. However, that's not going to take place in the workplace, okay? Because I'm not going to be trying to get fired, and I'm not going to be fighting or having some sort of crazy antics at work. That's a place of professionalism, that's a place of business and whatever else. And specifically, I haven't had to be having altercations and drama and all that stuff since I was a kid. That's to be expected. You have areas, people be jealous of you, envious. We don't even know what they be going through, but you would be attacked for whatever reason. And so you have to deal with that. And a lot of young black girls have to go with that in their neighborhoods, from girls at school, girls on their block, boys on their block. There's all these different things that they encounter, and you never really get to the root of it. You never really find out what the problem is. You know what I'm saying? And so I hadn't been experiencing that in a really long time until recently, where I started hearing that again. But the crazy part about it is that I've even been called a token. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, why would you say that? Because I want to do a good job at work? Like, who is going to work and spending 8 hours somewhere just to be goofing off? Who's doing that? Nobody has time for that. You go to work, ain't you? Like, what you going there for? You know what I'm saying? So of course I'm going to want to do a good job because, for one, I want a pay raise, and I may want to move to another department. And so if I'm doing substandard and subpar work, then that's going to hinder my progress. So therefore, I must do a good job, and I must perform well, not to mention the fact that service industries have a lot of metrics. You know what I mean? Your call handle time, how you handle the call, they listen to your calls, quality assurance, all of these things play a role. So therefore, I must do a good job. Otherwise, you may get fired or have some other disciplinary action or probationary or whatever the case may be, but nobody wants to go through that, because I don't understand what you're going to work for if you're not looking to perform. What is the purpose of it all? What are you doing there? So in terms of being a token, and they might say that in the instance of maybe I might have a mixture of friends or a coworkers I wouldn't say they're friends, coworkers. They might be a mixture, you know what I mean? You might see me gravitating or talking to, because some people get to work and feel like they don't have to be talking to nobody. They want to only be clicked up in their little groups over here and over there. And if that works for you, great. But that doesn't work for me. If I'm working in a corporate space, I'm going to be interacting with everyone, for one, because we're doing business with these departments, those people over there. I'm going to have to interact with these people at some point on some level. So me acting stank is not going to help my cause. And why should I? They haven't done anything to me. You know what I'm saying? And so, yes, we can have the argument that, the white supremacists do this and they do that. However, in the Pacific Northwest, there is a variety of people here. There's white supremacists, there's some Klan members, there's some people that, come here and they don't like other blacks. You know what I mean? They're black and they don't like other blacks, or they don't like city blacks. You know what I'm saying? So that, there's all kinds of stuff that be going on. You know what I mean? There's Asians that come here. They don't like blacks. There's all different groups of different people. However, I have encountered some very, very decent and good folk, you know what I mean, of all different races. So therefore, I don't really have time to be going in a group and following along just because some people say that's what you should be doing. If I don't have a negative interaction with a particular person, then there's no reason for me to be hating on them. You see what I'm saying? So nonetheless, now there are some people that move covertly. There are some, Caucasians that move very covertly. They will be up in your space, up in your circle, gaining information and doing all kinds of stuff, shady behavior, and then come to find out they use that stuff against you later. Now, but that could be anyone. You see, so I don't specifically narrow it down to one specific race. However, I will say that I just have to block that kind of stuff out. You know what I'm saying? I didn't grow up in the South. However, I have family that lives in the South still to this day. Now, had I grown up in the South, I probably would have an accent specific to that region. But because I didn't, I don't. So when people come here that may be from the South, now this is not a dig, this is not an attack on people from the South. I'm just saying that this is what's happened to me. There have been some who have come from the South and they say that I sound white, and I still have not been given a clear answer as to what that means. What does that mean? Are you saying because I enunciate? Are you saying because I pronounce my words a particular way? Are you saying my tone? Like, what is it that you're saying that you think that I sound white? You see what I mean? And it's offensive. And I never get an apology about it. I never, they never say anything. You know what I'm saying? And so I just have a hard time. And it's not to try to spew a negative narrative, but this is what it is. And for whatever reason, people act like they don't want to keep talking about that. Just like the violence that keeps happening at the colleges and all of these different things that are happening to us. There is crime against women and children and students. All types of stuff is happening, but nobody wants to talk about that stuff for some reason, which I find to be very bizarre, because I'm like, how, is people going to be wanting to come together as a people if they're still being attacked by their own people, if they're still, going through all types of stress and strain with their own people? Why would someone want to be down for the cause? You know what I mean? And some people feel really strongly about their own people. I know that I do. You know what I'm saying? I have seen all types of stuff that have happened to women of color, even the narrative, men, the things that they say about women of color, even people. You know what I'm saying? But typically, when I was experiencing bullying, it wasn't from another race in my school. It was from, women of color, girls that look like me. You see what I'm saying? And they would be bullying me. So I never had a problem. I actually got along better with some Italians, some Asians, some, other races, white folks. You know what I'm saying? So that's all that people will be trying to say. That's all that they're trying to convey. They're like, listen, maybe you're going through in a different experience, but this is my experience. You know what I'm saying? And so this is what I'm going to talk about and say that, hey, maybe let's examine this and figure out why this is happening. Why do you feel it necessary to attack me? Because I got a full nose, I got full lips. You know what I'm saying? I have African features. My background is from Nigeria and wherever else. You see what I'm saying? So yes, this is how I look. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to let nobody make me feel bad about that or make it seem like if I don't have more European features that somehow I'm less than attractive. You see what I'm saying? So this is what I be talking about. This is why I come on here and this is what I voice, and I'll never be silent about that.